And I'd like to introduce now the woman who has joined me on stage. This is Dr. Shelbie Witte, who is the Dean of our College of Education and Human Development. And Shelbie, welcome to UND, and thanks for joining us today on stage.
Thank you so much. Nice to see all of you.
It's a clappy group today.
I
It's
know,
awesome.
I love that.
So welcome to UND, and tell us a little bit about your background, how you got here, and why did you choose to come to UND?
Sure, well, Highway 81 actually brought me to Grand Forks. If you go 1,000 miles south on Highway 81, you'll hit my hometown of Chickasha, Oklahoma. And lots of life has happened on Highway 81 for me, so I love symbolism, and here I am in Grand Forks, and love the opportunity to come here. So opportunity brought me here and brought us here, but it's the great people and the friendly people that have made it worth it.
And you came from a similar town, a college town, Stillwater, Oklahoma.
That's right.
Any comparisons or contrasts between Stillwater and Grand Forks?
Very much so. So college towns are amazing. The energy and relationships you build with folks in college towns, and then being near military installations is very important to us and my family. So it's been an easy transition in that way. A little bit colder, though, I will say. A little bit.
But it was like in the 80s this past weekend.
I know.
Yeah,
that's great.
Okay, just wait, right? Yeah. Nice. Well, so we're going to play another game, and this is in the spirit of Let's Make a Deal. There'll be 3 doors that appear on the screen next to me, and we're going to have Shelbie pick door 1, door 2, or door 3.
So I don't want to zonk, so what do we think? You want to help me pick? 2, 3, 2.
Door 2, please. And the phrase is digital literacy. So perhaps you can talk a little bit about digital literacy, and I'll have a follow-up question too.
Well, sure. So the definition of literacy has evolved since our country started. So does anyone know what the first measure of being literate in the early 1800s was? Being able to put an X to be able to vote.
Oh, wow.
So that was the measure of literacy then. Fast forward to the industrial age, and 8th grade graduation was the measure of whether someone could be defined as literate. Fast forward to 2024, we have financial literacy, we have information literacy, and digital literacy, which is how do we make sure humans can be in digital spaces and create content and consume content that's healthy and kind and factual and not fake. And so that's kind of what my areas of expertise surround.
Yeah, and your dissertation actually dealt with film.
Yes.
And you've talked before. We rode a bus throughout the state of North Dakota for a few days this fall. And you've talked about your love of movies. And your dissertation is about film and education and the intersection. Could you share a little bit more there?
I would love to. So the ways that schools and teachers are depicted on film have a reciprocal influence on how the public view teachers. So from Bad Teacher, which I think was Cameron Diaz, not a good example, to kind of the renegade teacher with Mr. Keating and Dead Poets Society, oh Captain, my Captain, jumping on the desk, to the teacher savior model with Michelle Pfeiffer and Dangerous Minds. Some of you are my age group, I think you're recognizing that. But my favorite depiction of all is 1939, the very first teacher movie ever, and it was Goodbye, Mr. Chips. And Mr. Chipping is on his deathbed at the end of the movie, and they say, oh, it's such a shame that he didn't have any children in his life. And he was able to say, oh, no, I had thousands of children as a teacher. So I encourage you to watch some teacher movies.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's go back to your expertise in digital literacy. How can we help not only K-12 students, but college students and educators to navigate this space?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to have a lens of taking a pause before we believe everything that we read on the internet. I grew up, my mom would buy the National Enquirer and those weird, newspapers in the grocery line, and I always wondered, are these stories true? Well, I think if you just fast forward to today, a lot of the information young people are reading online and creating online, especially with advances in artificial intelligence, really have us questioning what's real and what's not. And so we have a responsibility to teach young people while they're in school, ways to differentiate real from fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An important talent or an important ability. Hey, let's go to the next word.
Okay.
1 or 3?
Let's do 3.
Okay, pull it up. And the word is goals. So in your first months at UND, what's been your approach and what goals have you set?
Well, my approach, we are big Ted Lasso fans in my house. Yay, Ted Lasso. So one Lasso lesson I carry with me is be curious, not judgmental. So I think you will see that the faculty in the college, the staff in the college are really tired of me asking questions about why we do things and how we do things. So my approach has been, again, 99% curiosity and 1% complete and utter fear about the winter that's coming. We bought heated jackets like with battery packs and stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. No, but truthfully, just asking, listening, and doing more listening, and I think that's been an important goal.
Yeah, and one key change that you've made is bringing the University Children's Learning Center under the college. Can you say a little more about that?
Sure. So I think many of you are familiar with the UCLC. It's been around for decades as a real premier pre-K learning opportunity for the young people at Grand Forks. And what this relationship will continue to do is strengthen the collaborations with the college, but hopefully allow opportunities for reinforcing what's there, possibly expanding it sometime in the future.
And let's go to the final item on the board.
Okay.
All right.
Number 1.
Here we go, number 1. And that word is teacher shortage, which we all know about. Obviously a big question. What are some solutions that you have in mind to address teacher shortages?
Well, I think it's no surprise the entire country is facing a workforce shortage of comprehensively prepared teachers. So the answer is we need courageous people to make some courageous decisions about the most valuable asset in North Dakota, and that's the young people in the classrooms. So what does that look like? What can we do? For one, we never, ever, as teachers and students, should be fearful for our lives when we go to school, right? There's some easy solutions for protection of our young people and the teachers willing to do that. And secondly, we should make the teaching profession so attractive that folks are fighting over the opportunity to do it, not playing rock, paper, scissors to see who has to do it. And so that's financial, that's support, that's investing in North Dakota in significant, courageous ways.
And then thank you. Thank you. And UND is doing some work in this area as well.
Absolutely. From our Sea Otter office, which is our Office of Teacher Retention and Recruitment, to collaborating with regional and other universities in the state to solve the problem of recruitment and retention. We have a long way to go, and we need your help.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Shelbie, thank you so much for joining us today. How about a round of applause for Dean Shelbie Witte?
Thank you so much.